Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, gunman held during stop and search in Portland. The Port Antonio police seized one Smith & Wesson pistol with a magazine containing 7 9mm cartridges during a stop and search operation in Rafters Arrest, Port Antonio, Portland on Saturday, May 25. Reports from the Port Antonio lawmen are that about 2:35 a.m., police were carrying out stop and search duties in the Rafters Arrest area when the weapon was removed from the waistband of a male. He was taken into custody pending further investigations. Cops carry out raid in Granville, St. James, gun found in bushes. The St. James police seized a .320 pistol, no magazine affixed, during an operation in the Browns Lane, Granville in the parish on Friday, May 24. Reports from the Granville police are that about 3:30 p.m., police acting on information carried out an operation in the area. During the search, the firearm was discovered along a perimeter fencing in bushes. No one was arrested in relation to the seizure. Investigations are ongoing. PNP dismisses Information Minister's denial of data breach in relation to Golden's passport information. The People's National Party says it is unimpressed with what it terms the anemic response of Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris Dixon to concerns about data breach in relation to opposition leader Marco Golding. Dr. Morris Dixon was questioned as to the possible breach of privacy when it was made public that Mr. Golding, until recently, was not the holder of a Jamaican passport even while serving in public office. The Information Minister in response asserted that there was no breach of privacy. Opposition spokesperson on information, Nikisha Burchell, says Dr. Morris Dixon's statements on her very first public appearance as Information Minister mirror the dismissive tactics of her predecessor with no sign of the promised transparency. Ms. Burchell says the Information Minister's premature dismissal of the privacy breach accusations without any apparent comprehensive investigation showcases a troubling inexperience. She is therefore calling for a full and transparent investigation of the matter.
Her readiness to accept Minister Vaz's explanations without question, while disregarding public concern, highlights a concerning lack of commitment to accountability within her own ministry. Moreover, her defense of Minister Vaz, asserting that the compromised information came from an unnamed source within the PNP, lacks credibility and fails to relieve the government of its responsibilities to safeguard citizen data.
St. Catherine man on gun charges remanded. A St. Catherine man who was held with an illegal gun during a police operation in Marchpen, Spanish Town, was on Friday remanded in the parish court. Damien MacDonald, 28, is answering charges of possession of a prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition. The case was transferred to the gun court aforementioned on June 14. Allegations are that about 5:30 a.m. on May 2, police and soldiers conducted an operation in the Marchpen Road community, during which MacDonald was held and a 9mm pistol affixed with a magazine containing 6 rounds of 9mm cartridges was seized from him. He was taken into custody on suspicion of possession of a prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition. He was subsequently charged following a question and answer session. Pushing for republic while retaining Privy Council ethically unsound, says NIA. Calling the removal of King Charles as Jamaica's head of state without leaving the jurisdiction of the Privy Council ethically unsound, the National Integrity Action is the latest civil society body to press for the complete severing of ties with Britain. NIA Principal Director Daniel Archer says that the removal of the king does not sufficiently guarantee the loyalty of the country's leaders to the people of Jamaica. Archer said the nation's transition from a constitutional monarchy to a republic must include a solemn commitment to the Jamaican people and not the Parliament of Jamaica. She said this also requires the removal of the final Court of Appeal from Britain. It is ethically unsound to remove the king and they still expect the Privy Council, appointed by the king, to dictate the application and interpretation of Jamaican law. This essentially grants another country authority to dictate Jamaica's laws, said Archer. The London-based Judicial Committee of the Privy Council is Jamaica's final appellate court. Further, Archer said NIA has noted the concerns regarding opposition leader Mark Golding, who earlier this week confirmed his British citizenship. She said this is permitted by Jamaican law, which also requires that both the Governor-General, the King's representative, and the Prime Minister swear loyalty to the King of the United Kingdom. She said the issue of whether dual nationals should participate in the governance of Jamaicans is not a matter to be determined by the Parliament without its members actively seeking the opinions of those they represent. This issue also affects Jamaicans within the diaspora, and we should fairly consider their views, Archer said. Added to that, she said constitutional reform is not the sole purview of the government and those it handpicks. Rather, it is a collective responsibility that should include comprehensive education of the public about the many areas covered by the Constitution. This will empower every Jamaican to understand and to contribute to what they want the Constitution to include, the NIA head said. She said town halls are insufficient and suggested that the methods used by political parties when conducting election campaigns should be employed to engage every Jamaican on the Constitution. This gives them an opportunity to participate, Archer said. She said it is the NIA's position that amending the Constitution without the involvement of every Jamaican is ill-omened and ill-conceived. NIA calls on the government to fully involve all Jamaicans before amending any aspect of the current Constitution. We still have an opportunity to do the right thing, Archer said. The call comes amid a constitutional reform process and renewed debates over whether the Privy Council should be retained as Jamaica's final court of appeal. The parliamentary opposition believes that Jamaica should join the Caribbean Court of Justice. The government has opted to retain the Privy Council for now. Earlier this month, the Privy Council announced that the British government approved a proposal by its president, Lord Reid, for overseas judges to sit on the court.